Welcome, everybody, to Dive Bar of DeMOCKracy. That's M-O-C-K. It's Friday night, and we're doing it right. There's only one way we know how to do it, and that's the fuck 'em fam way. Tonight, we're going to have 3 topics. We have no idea who our host or hostess is going to be, but the only thing that we do know is that, well, it's time to smash the fash. Y'all ready to do this? Let's meet the gang, shall we? Oh, shit.
What's up, everybody?
How's it going out there in Radio Land?
Hey.
So,
It's not so warm.
it has, it's been an eventful yet uneventful week. There's been your obvious cheap heat where they're trying to distract you from the things going on in Congress with with trans bathroom issues, the usual kind of bullshit. But I think before we launch into anything, let's just go ahead and get into the chopper hopper and see what happens. Can I get a drum roll, please? Oh shit, it's Godfrey.
All right.
So
We have to talk about.
what do we have to talk about?
Someone's claim got denied this week, so we could talk about that.
Well, it's looking like somebody's claim got denied.
Pre-existing condition, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, last I checked, lead poisoning was a pre-existing condition.
We had a very acute case, just sudden onset. You blinked and you missed it. I mean,
I'm telling you. This was the first time that I've seen America be united on something in quite some time.
yeah, America collectively went.
Yeah, we don't care.
Anyways,
The national response. So, what's for lunch?
Yeah, very much.
How many people have been the victim of this man's greed in order to be able to buy an extra yacht plane?
I know one personally. You know, it's not rare. These are our friends and family and neighbors. They've been screwed over for what, decades, generations? Jeez. Because it's never been healthcare, it's always been wealth care.
And the memes, I mean, they're just absolute fire. I mean, everybody, like healthcare CEOs sweating it out. And
My heart bleeds.
Truly. And I mean, we really are coming upon a new gilded age. They're calling it a golden age, and they're calling it that because they want to not only sound like it's going to be some successful era, or as last I checked, putting tariffs on our top 2 biggest importers of goods is not going to help things, but it just seems they're trying to harken back to Rome because they're obsessed with the whole, like, you know, we are an empire. And they got a Red Caesar situation. I'm telling you, these memes are absolutely fire.
You know what it is? It's just a dick wagging competition. It's all these oligarchs from all over the world who have so much fucking money, more than they could ever fucking spend. And they're so bored. They have nothing else but, like, what else could we do with our money? I don't know. Maybe influence countries and, like, gain land and power and influence. I don't know. Because they've ran out of things to buy. They bought, you know, Supreme Court justices.
Once you buy a Supreme Court justice, what's left to buy? Fuck.
Volcanic Island. Sharks with freaking lasers.
Freaking tornado laser batteries and sharks.
Yeah, islands with like your face as the stone.
Yes.
Like that's the old. Yeah, it's the old.
Jug you got to throw water.
I mean,
Oh my God.
nobody give
Oh my
them
God.
ideas. Actually, fuck.
Okay, I have one, but it's really funny. Kinda. No, it's sad. Anyway, it's terrible. No, actually, it's terrible. But
Out with it.
okay, so the Black Hills where Mount Rushmore is. How much do you guys want to bet? Was the over/under that we're gonna have a fucking Trump face up there next, like squashed in among the other four?
I like Trey Crowder's idea of before he leaves office, Biden should just go absolutely ham and do a bunch of shit that nobody would expect him to do. Like, for example, give the Native Americans crates of dynamite and put them on top of Mount Rushmore and say, go for it.
Like, whatever you guys want to do.
Just, yeah, exactly. Like, the pardons are already waiting for you as soon as you come down.
Have a great time, guys. Go ham.
What's up, Al?
You know?
How's it going?
Well, it's like, what would they use? They would have to use like nice or granite to get that right tone of orange.
Yeah.
No. They just have some poor Yahoo come up, every 6 months and put a fresh spray.
Maybe just transplant some stone from the Grand Canyon up there.
Oh yeah,
No, it's like shooting beanbags from a distance. They just shoot at the mountain.
just paint on it.
Just paint on it.
How would it be any different from how he looks normally? He is so splotchy.
It would be just as splotchy. Yeah.
It's like the classic photograph of the immigrant worker who is actually hanging over the side to create Mount Rushmore on that little, for lack of better words, scaffold. But it's just somebody with an orange rattle can.
That's what I'm saying. Just like bored as fuck, holding the thing up to his face, going, ugh.
Right.
What am I doing with my life? I'm up here every 2 weeks. This healthy breathing is this amount of orange paint.
Thanks, Project 2025.
Would it be like the Golden Gate Bridge where they continuously paint it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, Allison? How's it going? You're muted, darling.
There we go.
Hey.
I thought I could hit my space bar, like it would be okay, but I can't.
If I could hit the space bar.
So sorry I'm late.
No worries.
Well, no, I didn't have to do this, but
Please tell me you're eating ice cream again.
No, not tonight. We don't have any ice cream in the house.
Oh.
No, I got new makeup because I'm getting old, and I can't wear what the stuff I used to. So my daughter was getting showing me how to do stuff, and I lost track of time.
Oh, that's a bonding experience.
As I mature, my skin is maturing, so I can't do the same shit I did when I was 20.
Well, I mean,
I don't like it.
It's also a bonding experience between you and your daughter.
Yeah, she's really good at makeup. She's come a long way from she was probably 8, and she's always loved makeup, art, and the art of makeup. So she learned how to do this thing on herself, where it's her eye was like a rainbow.
Oh,
she
rad.
did Roy G. Bit, and so while she was really good on herself, putting makeup on others is a whole other can of worms. So this is during the pandemic, and she wants to give me the rainbow look, and I swear to fucking God, it looks like a leprechaun punched me in the face with a rainbow. Because I have the photo somewhere.
Well, I mean, you tried to take his Lucky Charms, and you got real close. We didn't know he would throw a punch over cereal.
I have the photo somewhere, because the only thing I thought to do was to post it on social media because it was fantastic. It was just this giant rainbow. So, but no, she's come a long way since then. So, like I just, because your eye skin changes as you age, so like I'm starting to get the droopy hood thing, and like you can't wear certain shades anymore. Not anymore, I should say. You have to change the position of certain colors as you age. So I tried to do something and it looked like I got punched in the face with my...
Yeah, this is what Sarah Huckabee Sanders doesn't understand.
Her makeup is atrocious.
No,
exactly. Don't line it up with what your eyelid is doing, like how you are looking at yourself. If one eye droops more than another, don't put the color down here to match, the core part of the eyelid.
Yeah,
put it up here, okay? Just
like, it's
It's okay. It's gonna be fine. Yeah.
No, and so I was doing it a little too high with like the brown shadow that's supposed to like reduce the puffy look, and
I do that on my right eye.
Yeah, like I was. That's what made me look like I got punched in the face because I did too dark, too high up, and so.
Speaking of aging, I'm sure you all noticed.
Oh, your glasses?
Yeah. I had to.
I didn't even know. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, it's that every now and again you gotta take your contacts out, kind of thing.
We kind of have almost the same frames.
Yeah, almost. We're rocking the Buddy Hollies.
They rock for you, dude.
I mean, I tried all the other frames and it just didn't work for me either.
You have a high bridge. I have the same problem. When you have a high bridge, so it doesn't look like, it's hard to find glasses that don't look like this.
Mm-hmm.
So to
Chuck
have
Schumer.
it like Chuck Schumer. So for it to sit on
You don't
my
want the constantly picking up over
Look
the.
overs.
I thought those were reading glasses, but no, that's like his legit glasses, I think. But like when you have a high bridge, like most frames will make you look like this normally, and like so it's hard to find ones that like when they sit correctly, it shapes the eye, not Chuck Schumer, and like it's true.
I can't stop thinking.
I know why
Just over there, just Schumering the hell out of the place. Just Schumering it up.
Who the fuck let him be Senate Minority Leader? Who did that?
Oh my god.
Who do I gotta write to like? God
Project
damn.
2025. Yeah, once more. Thanks. Appreciate that.
He's just not. He tries so hard.
When it comes to the whole application of eye makeup, I mostly just do black, so I never really have to worry. There is a look that I'll do that has like pink and white, but that was mostly when I had long hair because it worked with it really well. But with like shorter hair, it just doesn't seem to click, so it just went back to straight up black. So I've learned that it doesn't matter how much you age, that raccoon look, it always works.
I can't do
Two
smoky
things.
eye.
You can't smoky
Didn't
eye.
happen, and we got to see that.
What's that?
What was that?
Yeah, see pictures.
Two things. Pixar, it didn't happen, and we need to see you recreate it in like now.
Oh, okay. I have a
Well, not like now, right now?
there's a Facebook video of me doing my makeup. You two can steal my. It was pretty much a look that I stole from Mark Bolan from T-Rex.
Okay.
And he uses a blue brush because he's a boy.
He's a boy.
He
I
used.
know that guy one. Yeah, I love that guy. Like,
And
He's
Mayhem
awesome.
ensued. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, he's hilarious. He does the like conservative beauty makeup
He's also
tutorials.
a fucking skilled makeup artist.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
no,
skilled,
he's
so good.
Yeah.
a lot
I've
of
learned a lot
new
of things.
skills. You know what changed my life? Vix, you might understand this one. Doing
In the
your
opposite eye.
opposite eye first.
Mind blowing, life changing. Right? See,
But
this is
every
the
time-
kind of stuff you lose when you don't include everybody in the big tent. You need all kinds. Because there are
And-
girls like us that never got taught how to girl. that have been
I never
trying to
got taught
scrape
how to
it
grow.
together, from this and that, trying it together from this and that, and thank
Another
God for
tip,
this beautiful soul.
another tip I learned that I would have never thought of on my own was using orange corrector for my dark circles. And like it's like hereditary. Like everybody in my family has the dark circles. Where even if I've slept 12 hours or 2 hours, my daughter had it as a baby. They kept trying to say it was allergy signers. I was like, nope, it's just the way she is, because everyone in my family had some. But like they're hard. Like concealer always seems to they always seem to poke through concealer. So he said, try an orange corrector. And I didn't do that tonight, so you can still see like the puffiness, but mind blowing. I would have never thought that orange would.
Usually orange is never the answer. Okay, orange is the answer.
Is never the answer.
Okay, orange is the answer twice, for under eye bags and for scurvy. That's it. Scurvy and under eye bags. That's the only thing orange is for. And Cheetos. Cheetos is fine.
Apparently, you need a rattle can of it in order to make the second Mount Rushmore.
Four uses for orange. Cheetos, Mount Rushmore.
So I'm looking at what Godfrey sent me also to go with our.
How did we get from there to makeup?
I don't know, but it's Friday night and I'm all about it. I just know that there. Right?
Okay, you got to share it now.
You got to share it. We have to say it now.
No, I don't know if you want to. That's why I say that.
So let's just lean into it. I mean, if we're gonna that's what they would do. Let's just lean into it. I mean, how do we not know? How do we not know? I'm just asking questions.
How do we?
Late actors, all of them. Late actors, I tell you.
He never existed. The CEO, it never happened. Even though it was on camera, just like Jan 6, it never happened.
Yep.
Kirby,
Don't believe what your lying eyes are telling you.
What's that?
I was saying, Turpy, you gotta warn us before you hit us with an Alex Jones impression, because just cotton swab dry. Just
no. I didn't realize that was you. Oh, that's funny. Oh, here we go.
It was alarming.
Nice.
Hydrate now. Thank you for
that. By the way, it's 4 minutes until the next 420.
Oh, hell.
All right.
I gotta find my other two so I can have 4.
And that's including Anchorage and Nome. So get them ready.
Actually,
I have the sound thing of Alex Jones, like, I'm gonna eat your leftist ass.
Like corn on the cob.
Like corn on the cob.
Corn on the cob.
The last thing I do, I'm gonna get my hands around your throat.
You know what? If he wasn't so creepy and gross, that would almost be hot.
If it wasn't Alex Jones.
Okay, if it wasn't Alex Jones, that would be hot.
Hey, speaking of awesome stuff, you know what just happened? Hey, check this out.
What happened?
Battery charge for Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
What?
Who did he batter?
The woman
somebody knocked on his door.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, he should, because it's not a crime to knock on a door. All she did was say hello.
Yeah, and because he's trash, he's
the cop just
throwing bows.
totally dismissed her. Like, you went on his property. No, it's not a crime to knock on someone's door. You can't just open your door and pepper spray somebody. If she appears threatening, or then you can pepper, but you can't just open your door and be like. I mean, do you know how many people Jehovah's Witnesses sprayed on the? That was illegal to do.
Well, if it's bad, if you're allowed to do that when someone knocks at your door, I'll have to remember that next time the cops knock at my door.
Or the pizza man.
Well, take the pizza first, and then
Pepper spray 'em. There's your tip.
There's your tip. You know,
Yeah, don't pepper spray 'em first, then you get spicy pizza.
you know, I was just thinking about
that's
something.
what they call it. That's the cop code. We got a spicy meatball on Apple Lane.
You know, as I look at this
spicy meatball this month.
as I look at this mugshot, this tells me that there was a moment there that he had to go to prison, right? And well, not prison, but jail, at least overnight. So I'm wondering if he was ever met with the phrase, "Your body, our choice."
Yeah.
Listen.
Karma.
Listen.
Like
I love it. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't mean. No, I was just gonna say. Sometimes, when you're lucky enough, God lets you watch the karma happen to really awful people.
Yeah, I was gonna say I left the church in 2007, but I wish there was a God. Like that would be great. And
Every
God's
now and
great.
again, you see little specks like that to give you a little bit of hope, but
It's
then
like,
you
maybe I could believe.
then you see, as Godfrey showed me the story.
That story. Yeah. So off to someone who was also murdered in New York. That was poor, so no one gives a fuck about him.
Great.
That's exactly it. Mm-hmm.
So the subway
Maybe you got
strangler, manslaughter charges were dismissed, but they're still considering whether to charge him with negligent homicide.
Yeah, that's the fuck of it.
420. Sorry, 420. Light him up.
It is.
Do it. Blaze it, kids. You know what time it is.
Smoke him
Time
if
to
you got
find
him.
I have like 5 different charging cables, but none of them are the one I need.
It's almost like the vape.
You need a battery charge too, Allison.
You need a vape helmet.
Oh yeah.
You plug them in and they charge on the helmet.
If y'all have any curiosity
That's a
about the
great
vape helmet,
idea.
you're just gonna have to come to the Viper House to find that out.
Come hang out with us
Okay.
and make magic over there.
I'll
will
be
learn
right
much from the
back.
Bible.
I gotta go get a C cord.
See you in a minute. We'll be here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My lord.
Yeah, that is basically, like Skip said, that's pretty much it, though. He was poor. No one cares.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is going to be the next conservative hero. He's going to be the next Kyle Rittenhouse if he gets off anyways. Like I said, they're still considering charges. But
Oh, is that the asshole that choked out the guy in the subway car
the subway
and
strangler.
was laughing because the bowels released after he killed the man?
Mm-hmm.
That guy? Okay, well, fuck him forever, and
Yeah.
goddamn,
May he go through some things.
may he go through all the things. May his body truly be others' choices. I don't know.
Like, I don't see how they could possibly be conflicted on whether it was homicide of some sort. It's like he intentionally killed him. There's no way you would say.
He was well aware of his capacity to end a life with what he was doing.
Yeah, and he was
If
being
you are
told by
trained in
others
martial
around
arts-
him. Yeah.
If you are trained in martial arts at any stage, you will be held accountable for any act that involves a martial art act if it involves the death of another person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if like
If you copy something on, if you've not been trained and you copy something on TV, you're absolved. But if you have been trained, you're actually, you are well aware that your hands are a lethal weapon.
Yeah, and it goes against you in court if you don't use discretion. You know,
No.
like, I know, like they actually, that's one of the things my club did when you earned your black belt. Like they basically sat you down and explained the legalities of it. It's like, yeah, you have an extra responsibility on you now for the rest of your life. Where if you get in a fight and you hurt someone, like it's going to be your fault. You better have had a good reason to do it.
It's going to be your ass, Mr. Postman.
You basically you end up being charged as though you are armed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the Sloan Skinny of
It's
it.
an armed charge.
Yeah. And I can tell you, anyone that's had any experience in, judo, jiu-jitsu, sambo, even some wrestling clubs like freestyle wrestling, you don't hold that for that long.
No.
As soon as they go unconscious, you let go. Because if you hold it for much longer, you're going to cause brain damage. Longer than that, they're going to die.
Yeah.
So, and I know they teach that kind of thing in the Marines, not to the level that you would, do it if you're a trained martial artist, but they do teach it.
They teach you in the Army too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's a move I know how to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened, BCBS? Did something spook you guys? Notice the Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield calls off decision to cap anesthesia for surgical patients.
Maybe it's not a good idea to try to rate patients for all their worth,
I think that back in the day, in a gilded time, they were able to use the same tactics to try to usher in fascism that they used this time, but only they didn't have Russia helping them. They were spreading Nazi propaganda, but
they didn't have the preponderance of mechanisms they have today.
Correct.
And all those mechanisms are very easily owned by, or disproportionately owned by those with exceptionally large means. Yes, that's exactly what I was saying now.
Autocratical intentions?
I mean, this is how the French Revolution started. You can only step on the necks of the common man so much before, pressure needs to be released. You can only, you know what I mean? It doesn't make it right. I'm not advocating for violence, obviously.
No political violence.
I've got a recipe book for when it's time to eat the rich.
You can't be shocked that, clearly he's known. I mean, they took the time to write on the bullet casing, whatever.
Yeah, this was not an accidental crime of, in the heat of passion. Yeah.
This was
deliberate.
This was a message. This was because that dude knew that we'd be talking about this, both sides. And he's like, maybe I need to unite the country.
Right. And, there's some, Chris Cuomo, I would love to just, he needs to just shut the F up. But, he's, going on how awful it is that, because I guess on a Facebook post, United Health, posted, thoughts and prayers, and, 21,000 people put a smiley face reaction.
Yeah, they did the laugh react. I mean.
And and then people were prior authorization needed for thoughts and prayer.
I mean, dude, everybody's been fucked so much that they can use their own language against them.
I'm sorry. Your claim's been denied.
And I'm not going to advocate for violence, obviously. But, at the same token, I'm not going to shame somebody for saying something like that because, you just, you can only hit the man for so long before the man hits back, and...
All I was going to add is the species evolved by that much. And I'm thankful for it.
Know exactly why the guy did it, if that was the reason, because it was, he was a customer who had claims denied a bunch of times, or because they haven't found the guy, obviously.
He has to be somewhat I know he's not professional at this point, but at the same time, it's not easy to get a silencer, is it?
No, it's unless you make it yourself. Unless you make it yourself, you have to fill out a special form, pay a $200 tax stamp, and get a background check for it. And they know who has it.
3D.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's true. It might have been a 3D printer. I mean,
Yep.
You have a machine shop,
figured out.
you can build one. They aren't that hard to build, but you got to know how to do it. And
So yeah, it's somebody who's experienced with firearms at the very least. So
yeah, this guy was not.
No.
well, if they're building their own silencer, I mean, you have to know something.
So I said, I don't know if he built it. Maybe he stole it.
I mean, wasn't there proof that there was a jam?
Yeah, his gun jammed several times because there was unfired 9mm rounds there that he ejected. And that's the other reason I say that he's probably not a professional, because you can't just go ahead and throw a suppressor on any gun. Like, it's going to affect the way the gun cycles. And that's why it kept jamming, because having that big old chunk of metal hanging off the barrel can affect the way the barrel unlocks when it's a recoil operated firearm.
Yeah.
And just like, I don't know, I don't know if, I mean, I've lived, around New York City, a lot of my life. And like, it's hard to believe that so many people could see him and he can't be found. But at the same time, there's so many people, it's easy to lose somebody.
And then how many people are like, dude?
And at that time, like, everybody's going to
How
work.
many people are like, I get it.
Yeah, right?
How
And
many
if there's
people
no
are
like bang to catch people's attention,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can still hear it because there's nearby witnesses that said they heard the shots. Right? It doesn't make it completely silent.
No, I know, but like, it's not going to be like a without it. You know what I mean? Like, without a silencer, everybody's hearing it. But like, it's wild. Like, it's just wild to me, like how he's just able to slip away, and it's like he wanted to be seen on camera. I don't know. That's just my the expression.
Yeah.
It's like he knew he was being photographed in that picture that they say was him.
It seemed like the only image of his face was from in the hostel, and it was, I guess, apparently he was talking to somebody, perhaps flirting, and she could see his, and that's the only time. It was because he was spitting game. That's when the camera got him.
But yeah, that's
Crazy. But he had to have known there's a camera. Like, New York City has cameras everywhere. Like in the traffic lights and the stoplight, not the stoplights. You push the don't walk sign. Like, there's cameras everywhere. So he had, like, wild. Like, I'm surprised they couldn't follow him. Like,
I would assume New York to be pretty well covered in the public area, like the public spaces domain.
Yeah.
Like in terms of traffic cameras and pedestrian cameras and the other cameras they have access to, like through the transit system.
Like, I'm surprised that they couldn't get, like, somewhere there's cameras that would, like, follow the trail, like, piece together where he went.
Yeah.
And it's just wild. Like, but, I'm never going to shame somebody for laughing at a comment, because, like, I mean, if that's what you're known for.
What was the percentage of denial? That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it was pretty high.
Denied.
It was like 32%.
30, yeah, it was over 30%.
Exactly.
Wait, what's happening now? What percentage of
Denial of coverage.
United Healthcare, like the claims
UNC,
they deny.
UHC.
Right.
Yeah.
But
they denied a whole bunch.
Greater
percentage than any other company.
Yeah, more than that's a key point too.
I don't know if it was true or if it was just part of the rumor mill, but it was said that the shooter was terminal and had been denied.
That could be it.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
If that's the case, and that was my first thought too, was if he's terminal, what are you gonna do? Put him up in jail and then give him health care? Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yep.
He might actually get health care if he goes to fucking jail.
Exactly.
God.
And if that's what it takes,
ironic thing.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, how many terminal people see that? They're like, okay, if I commit a crime, I can get health care.
Is that by design or is that too cynical of me? Because they did make homelessness a crime now.
Well, somebody has to
Yeah.
replace
So
the
it's just
migrants that they're going to deport.
I know. I mean, they're just going to make for-profit prisons and get cheap, slave labor out of poor Americans.
Yes.
Poor people, migrants.
This is a class war, guys.
Yeah.
You know what though,
Democrats are
Georgia?
getting sworn in January, so.
Yay!
Georgia got rid of its prison workforce.
Yeah.
Oh, did it?
Oddly, well,
I'm sorry.
the main workforce that they had was for garbage pickup,
Uh-huh.
and now it's like we got all new cans, and it's like pretty much mechanized. Like the garbage trucks come, arm grabs the can, dump, and then next house.
Yeah, it's got the whole.
So the way Georgia, well, I don't know if this is just Muskogee County. It has to be, no, because I don't know if it's just the county or the state. No, I've seen state prisoners doing the trash pickup. So it had to have been statewide, but it had to have been more economical to get new garbage trucks, dispense new garbage cans, and have somebody just drive, around with the arm truck. Because I mean, that's what Georgia does. Like whatever is the cheapest alternative, that's what they go with.
Well, if you know anything about the waste management company and their ties to the mob, you've always had criminals picking up your trash anyway.
That's true. They always had to be able to get rid of certain things some way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Hawaii used their Hawaii. I don't know if they can still do this, but when I lived there, you could rent prisoners, and you either had to pay them like some very meager salary,
Oh,
like
constant
$2-3. Yeah.
Yeah, Alabama
And,
does that, hiring them out for fast food.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I could tell you horror stories about that. They've been doing that for, decades, if not a century now?
Mm-hmm.
Convict
I had
raising?
never seen it until I lived in Hawaii, and somebody told me that her husband's business, you could either cover their lunch, and their lunch had to be a legit lunch. You couldn't just buy them some bullshit 4-piece chicken nuggets and that. It had to meet certain standards.
Good.
Or you pay them $2 an hour. It was something absurd like that.
Yeah, the prison labor system, I mean, once the Emancipation Proclamation came and then, slavery ended, they reinstated what were called the Black Codes, and that was just another reason to start locking people up again so they would have forced labor, and it's just moved on from there.
Yeah, see, what had happened was that since they were freed, they ran for office, and many of them, were elected and got office, and then the white people said, oh, well, we can't be having that. And that's when Jim Crow and all of those codes came in. Yeah,
and I mean, remember Wilmington was an actual coup. The black vote won, and the white population got their pew-pews and said no.
Well, I mean, there's always been backlash to any advances. We're in one right now. We had a black president. There's they got so mad that they elected an orange rapist.
Yeah. I mean, people of color, I guess you can put orange people in there now. Is that what we're doing? God damn. It's just getting to the point where the white grievance and victim mentality is completely overrun any sense of actual political debate, to the point where we got a hold of a certain playbook of the right when it comes to social media. And you can find that video on my channel. But the thing is directly says, no matter what facts are presented, discount them because it's specifically made to demoralize. Because how many times have we sat here and with our head in our hands and been like, oh, I told them the facts. Like, it just doesn't seem to be going through. No, it's by design.
Yeah. They just tell them that everything the left says is a lie. It's like, don't even.
It's the bite model. It's part of controlling which information they get to believe, which information they are allowed to look at and receive, and which information is forbidden. It's the same thing that the Mormon Church does. It's the same thing that Jehovah's Witness does. It's how they control people.
Makes sense.
It's no fucking different. And it's how they ushered in white Christian nationalism. Thanks, GOP. You sold us all out.
I want to go ahead and take this time to plug the Mighty Librarian's latest Substack, because she completely nailed how the Republican Party used the tactics of the WWE to get elected. Feel free to talk some about it as people are watching this. That was a great Substack. Holy shit.
Oh, well, I'm glad, because I had to like do a little bit of research into like, I knew the general concepts, but like I never thought in my life I'd be researching the WWE, like learning about different dramas and that I've heard about. So I really don't have a direction for this Substack. I mean, it's free. I'm not cool enough to charge a subscription, so it's free to subscribe and all that stuff, but I don't really know where it's going. Well, I do know. Basically, I speak dumb fuck, I speak normal person, and I speak academia. So what I'm trying to do is bring academia, which is like a lot of the like Pod Save America bro types who love position papers and white papers and you know what, we need all types of people in the coalition. However, we're not in normal times, so I'm trying to I guess what I'm trying to do is get and vice versa too, taking the academic and putting it in dumb fuck or regular person depending on the topic. So I can't walk and chew gum. So so I've just been kind of experimenting with different topics and whatnot. So I kind of did a opening. I intended the WWE to be a series, but I kind of just did like an opening, like, here's the comparisons. Here's how they're programmed and why Trump is so effective. And it's really kind of targeting academics in a way, because they're trying to do things that aren't effective, that might have been effective 10 years ago, or not. Well, it's probably, when Obama was running for president, it might have been really effective then, but we have to adjust for the reality that we're living in, and it's uncomfortable because nobody likes, especially academics, likes to really change. And it's really, we have to constantly be reminded to meet students where they are. You have to meet the public where they are, and once you understand the problem, then you can begin to solve it. But if you don't, these people don't even understand what the problem is, so how can they even think that they're going to solve it? So I've just been I don't really have a mission or a direction of where the Substack's going, but I'm glad you liked it, Skip. At least
I just really broke down the generation that was most responsible for putting Trump into office. It really, really exposed how the for lack of better words, the tactics of the WWE are in play, using, storylines they're called angles, using kayfabe, basically acting like enemies in public, but you're actually friends behind the doors. Everything from Lock Her Up, where you get the call and response. If you genuinely think about it, there's a reason that Linda McMahon was chosen as the Secretary of Education, because if they can get everybody to think in these bombastic us versus them terms at all times, it's always going to be easy to keep power, because they can always paint the left as, the enemy of our team. They know Trump lies,
Right.
but he lies for them.
I'm putting the link in the Discord. I don't have Twitch up, but here's the Substack to my the link. I think it's like the third article from like the top. And I also wrote an article about neuro-linguistic programming, which I didn't realize that's what it was called. So thanks for the tip. But neuro-linguistic
programming was actually part of that right-wing playbook that we found. That's one of the reasons that they repeat the same phrases.
And it's also how WWE is so. But I don't know if they used it consciously, WWE, but I'm sure there had to be some consciousness. Even though it's not like they said, "I'm going to use neuro-linguistic program," but I'm sure they knew that elements of it are effective. So. I
was just going to say, when you only have probably 48 to 60 words in the average vocabulary beyond the wrestlers' names that are used in like
it's an absolute it's its own jargon, and you don't go outside of that jargon, and that jargon was actually created around the vaudevillian times to make sure that the crowd had that neuro-linguistic programming, but without them knowing.
But what's like that
it sets perfect scene for then introducing any one thing you want to focus on for a little while to elevate and platform and centralize
cheap heat
in that mainstream ecosphere. Cheap heat. I gathered you were going to get to that.
It's like Carlin said, if you control language, you control thought. So they pare down the language to only the thoughts that they want people to have, and they have to have the language defined in specific ways, like what is a woman, stuff like that, and they just program them with those specific things.
Well, when they can use that as a way to troll back so that they don't have to ever respond to any factual information, that neuro-linguistic programming becomes a serious weapon of, for lack of better words, willingly brainwashed people.
In my writing an article today, I came across this story about this state representative in Utah.
Oh God!
Who decided? No, it's a crazy story, but she's not in the wrong. I don't think she's in the wrong. So she's a Democrat, and she decided, since Utah put in a book ban, that she was going to stock little free libraries with banned books. And she put in things like Judy Blume, like not even like the LGBT, you know what I mean, titles. She was putting, stuff like Judy Blume, The Handmaid's Tale, like the, quasi classic literature. And so in response, there's a Republican who's introducing legislation in Utah to be able to not just criminalize librarians, but criminalizing individuals for stocking little free libraries, and the owner of the little free library, if a child gets their hands on something. And I'm just like, you can't even leave little free libraries alone. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
They genuinely want to recreate the Third Reich.
They're so scared of their own goddamn sexuality, or being wrong, or like being humble, or going through like emotional growth. This is all just unwillingness to change or grow or learn as a person. They didn't want to learn or grow as a person when women left the home and started working and getting their own shit and doing their own thing. They didn't want to do that. And that's why they're trying to take away no-fault divorce and all of that with Project 2025. I mean, this is just a big fucking tantrum.
And they're trying to stupefy the country to make good little soldiers. I mean, why do you think they're trying to privatize education? Because when it's private, you can essentially do what you want. And like, why are they putting, like, criminalizing librarians, teachers, people who have a little fucking free library? Like,
1 minute.
You know, like, and I don't see how people don't see, like, I just don't see how they can go along with this. Like,
soon online libraries are going to require like age verification, like porn sites
and weed sites.
Well, the more knowledge that people get at a young age, the easier it is for them to be able to think critically. And you can't have that in an authoritarian sort of regime because let's go ahead and take, we were just talking about earlier, you know, Fern Gully. Like, Fern Gully is just a regular ass, you know, kids movie, but if you really look at it, it makes you woke as fuck when you realize that, like, the earth is being destroyed for profit.
So the other thing is that education, public education, what would be left of it, is going to be really, really narrow. So if you look at what they did in the Soviet Union, and probably why they couldn't keep up with us technologically, was when they trained their engineers, they didn't train them like we train ours here. They trained them in very, very specific things. I'm talking about one guy had a degree in ball bearings for paper mills. That's what he did. Right? Because if you know, the more you know, the more ideas you can connect, the more you can think critically.
That's why the world changed so much when we got the printing press. We were able to write shit down like quickly and easily and spread it. Sharing information. I mean, the world grew in leaps and bounds, and then when the internet became a thing, holy shit, it took off. And, you know, we have fucking rovers on Mars now. And horrifying weapons that can do terrible things to us. You know? It's...
Well, the way I look at it is it's all going to get real fucking weird. But at least, you know, we've built a pretty solid, cool community here. From not only Tony's show, but Brian's show and, you know, all the other different places.
21st century suffragettes.
Exactly. Cliff, all those cats, Gabe, you know, everybody that's in the hashtag turn that trash off. Because speaking of that, man, Mika and Joe have tanked MSNBC.
They weren't on today. I don't know.
Good.
I never watched them, but I heard they weren't on today.
Apparently, Rachel Maddow like jumped down their ass, both feet forward, set up a kiddie pool, and had a lemonade. And then after they came out and bitched at their crowd for, you know, actually like being like, I can't believe you put on the Cheeto Dust knee pads, then they lashed out at their crowd, and their crowd was like, okay, well, that's the last fucking time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two things. I haven't seen that, and can we watch it later? Because that's.
Yeah, I heard that it happened, but I haven't seen it either.
That's going to be one of the good watch.
Yeah, I heard about it. I don't have cable, or like MSNBC isn't in my algorithm either, so it's not on the algorithm often about it.
Let's do that.
How's it going out there in the chat, Tony?
Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Shout out to Farmley, Amethyst, Derek, Cynthia, Ratchet, and Fatima that have been hanging out in the Twitch chat. Everyone says hi. And Judy. Judy's been around there, too. Sorry about that, Judy. So, any comments or questions out there? We had some good stuff.
Yeah, the chat's been on fire.
Farmley says Shaq has his own line of frames for large-headed people. I have a pretty big fat head, so if I need some glasses that I never wear, I would have to go for those.
We had this one dude, I'm not going to say his actual name, in high school, but he had a fucking dome and a half, and they had to get a special like football helmet made for him. Motherfucker looked like Charlie Brown.
Smart. Cool kid.
Nah, he was a dick.
Well, bless his heart then.
Cynthia says they use specific words and phrases that have been co-opted to have alternate meanings. It's like word warfare.
It's double speak.
And it's stupid double speak. It's on such a dumb level that it's like, who cares? But
I know a lot of that stuff because I grew up around it. That's why I can pick up if someone's a MAGA chud or not really quickly, and they don't even have to mention it. It's just like,
they've been programmed to use code words all the time, so they just cannot help themselves.
Yeah, it's really easy to tell if someone can think for themselves or not.
The moment that they say the word states' rights, that's a pretty dead giveaway for me. And if they say that, oh, by the way, this is another part of the playbook, is to say that you're independent or centrist because this will let down the guard of the left. And therefore, maybe if you espouse your views out in public, the people who are actual moderates might actually glom onto your right-wing talking points. Isn't that nefarious?
Well, I mean, that's what a lot of people did for years. I mean, Tim Pool used to pretend to be a centrist. I don't even think he pretends anymore.
Yeah, no. And the same with Jimmy Dore.
Yeah, Jimmy Dore used to pretend to be on the left.
Pretend.
He used to pretend to be funny.
Well, they still pretend. Just now it's sad.
Oh, he tries much harder to pretend now, but it's not working. He used to be
smart.
Yeah, he's like Tulsi Gabbard in Russia.
Funny. Yeah. Very much so.
It's like he pretended to be a centrist.
No, it's not me. I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm into. Wink, wink.
Yeah, I knew Tulsi Gabbard was a fake when she was running in 2020 for the Democratic nomination. And my family that voted for Trump were like, she was like the only good pick they have up there. I'm like, okay then, yeah. Done with that.
Yeah, the MAGA people that I knew before I decided to cut ties. That was they'd always say, they'd be like, well, the one Democrat I do like is Tulsi. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. But I just remember that because this was back in like 2018, 2019. Or actually, no, I think it was during the height of the pandemic, so it was 2020. But yeah, I was talking to a dude at the gym. He's like, I watch people from both sides. I'll watch conservatives and I'll watch liberals like Tim Pool. It's like,
they're not fucking liberals.
I literally said that right then. I was like, Tim Pool is so far right, he's basically a neo-fascist.
Yeah.
Like, do you watch him?
He literally said Ukraine is the enemy and was getting paid by Tenet. Okay, yeah. I'm just going to leave that there.
Russian chill.
Speaking of that, holy living fuck! Did you see that clip? And everybody needs to find that. It's in the Discord, so you'll be able to find it here. There's a clip of this cat on Rogan, just straight up admitting the playbook. He's like, yeah, we found that like it's best just to get a hold of main influencers that people listen to and trust, and tell them what it is, for lack of better words. I mean, the clip is right out there. I mean, it's the quiet part out loud.
He even mentioned the types of people, like, get video game streamers who weren't normally political.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, I know someone that does that. That's interesting.
Well, I meant me? No, wait a minute. Hold on. No, not for the right though. Anyway, they have a whole mechanism of people who have nothing to do typically with politics, but as you will be able to see if you watch once more our Decoding the Right-Wing Playbook video, they are told that they will be sent a list of talking points and topics every day for them to hammer on. And because that is the, for lack of better words, streamlined way that right-wing disinformation gets out, the left has to spend all that time combating it, which they don't actually care about. And that was time spent we could have been used to message kitchen table issues, which is where the Democratic Party needs to go now.
Well, the thing is, the left is, we all think for ourselves. So we don't have a uniform message. We aren't pushing the same thing to a group of sheep every day. We all come up with our own things. Like, none of us here are scripted. None of us here have a list of talking points. We just come up with what we say as we say it. You know?
And no, there is no three-word slogan that could reach the entirety of the Democratic base.
No, I mean, no issue is like that. Every issue is nuanced. Life is a symphony of shades of gray. Nothing is black and white. Nothing is that simple.
Well, the absence of nuance is the actual definition of tyranny.
Yeah.
Well, they don't want to have to think hard. They want to be able to, say, this is black, this is white, and I've got everything figured out.
All such and
they
such.
never have to reconsider anything. They never have to consider if they were wrong.
It's the hero bot.
Yep.
They're taught in terms of qualification, in the respect that to meet the qualification for a group or a standard, they'll identify traits or character behavior from a group and identify that and highlight that as being a qualifier for this type of group. And as soon as the word is given, they'll go out en masse and basically engage in their fucking online bullshit as they do.
Especially when they're getting paid in crypto.
Yeah, and now
there has got to be way too much money flowing upwards that we're not seeing. And I think it's through the betting apps.
See, and that's another thing, because someone put it in the chat, Cynthia, like, that's where they have a unified message. How many times did you hear, Kamala didn't offer anything? How many times did you hear that?
That was literally the message was saying, or like, she can't put two sentences together. I mean, that's literally a talking point to be said.
Yeah, and those of us that actually watched her speak were just like, that's not true at all. She offered all kinds of ideas.
And that's the demoralizing part, is we know what reality is, but we're told that's not reality because they're told to do that on purpose.
Yeah, just lie about it.
All things that were true of Donald Trump.
Yes.
Excuse me, the orange dip fuck, as I've decided to call it.
A Rebedoog.
And it's, the Rebedoog guy himself. And, it's in his playbook to, deny everything and accuse your enemy of everything of that which you are doing.
And it's just Roy Cohn 101.
I'm really rich.
If you don't know who Roy Cohn is, then I definitely recommend checking out the documentary called Bully Coward Victim. And then there's another documentary called Where's My Roy Cohn about Donald Trump flexing the wrong kind of legal power in his first term. So he's going to do it. You already know the playbook. Best thing to do is batten down the hatches and stay here with your friends.
Come get high with your buddies.
Music. That's what I'm talking about. Music. Was there anything else from the chat?
Cynthia says, hearing it over and over again, bound to start believing it. That's all they do, is just the repetitiveness.
Well,
if they hear the same thing from multiple sources, it's validated.
Well, not just that, but like I said, Trump lies, but lies for them, and they know it. So it's like looking away when your pastor is doing something bad. You know what I mean? It's the exact thing. Actually, that probably explains why the extremely evangelical sect was so easily swayed to be able to look past Trump's discretions, because, well, they're used to that shit.
Well, they've always got counterpunch material, in that even though they're constantly inundated with scandals because it's a thing. When you're Republican, you're involved in shit you're supposedly against, and you're definitely against things you're supposedly for, like women's right to choose. Inevitably, they're all quite prepared for that day that the curtain gets pulled back. And what they need is enough noise, just enough dirty cans and shiny car keys that they can throw into corners and keep media in the left talking about other things other than their lies, their indiscretions, their immorality, their pedophilia, their murder, their sexual battery, their domestic violence, and all the other shit they regularly engage in as a group culturally.
It's part of the qualifications. Last I checked.
Yeah, it is, and the fact that the fact they know they're going to be caught eventually means they're actually not so much scared as more prepared. In that, well, they know they have to go out. They don't go, oh no, I'm caught. What do I do? My career's over. They go, oh well, right. I have to.
They double down.
Find enough. They have to double down. They have to find enough crap to throw out into the ecosphere.
Well, they got to double down and play victim. They have to say the legal system is after them.
Well, now they know they have an entire media sphere dedicated to supporting and enabling the right, who won't talk about their indiscretions. But
I mean, the reason
the car keys and the squirrels.
The reason the Fox News came to be how it was under Ailes was because of Nixon. After Nixon, they were like, "We can't ever do this again. Like we just gave up power.
Can't have that again.
Like we can't ever give up power. Like that's just not something we do."
Mm-hmm.
And since then, it has slowly become more and more effective, and it's now the most dangerous form of communication going on, because it's going on in government institutions. Taxpayer-funded institutions are airing Fox.
Yeah, it was
on their waiting room TVs, in their mess halls,
in the military.
It was playing in the waiting room in my oral surgery clinic at DeMOCK at Fort.
Yep. It's all those places. Yeah. Every one of those places is playing anti-American propaganda, and they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be allowed to be. They shouldn't be allowed to take a taxpayer, pay $1.
I think there's just something we just got to realize is that things are not going to ever be as they once were. No. So now we need to adopt to what our current reality will be. And
they've been manipulated so far to the right for so long, subtly, that the center is so far off in the Overton window that we're pretty much hard up against the hard right.
Well, luckily,
in terms of what is center,
I was going to say, well, luckily, there's nothing about their playbook, whether it's from Project 2025 down to their social media playbook, that we don't know. And we know that one of the things that they want us to do is to not focus on gas, eggs, rent, inflation, and, it's time for those sort of issues to be the forefront of our messaging, because we don't have to worry about playing defense for Joe now. Now we get to troll.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. I mean, this is all by design. They want the Department of Education gone, so that you drop out of school and you go to work for them. You go to work at, real low wages because you don't have an education, because it's gone. And they pay you next to nothing, so you have to work 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet. And then you didn't get a sexual health education, so you get pregnant right away. Maybe you're 18 or 19, you have a couple kids by the time you're 25.
Then you go into the military.
Yeah, you go into the military, and now they want to get rid of, all VA benefits and shit.
Yeah, I think that with the whole them wanting to cut VA benefits, that's going to rub a lot of the Republican crowd the wrong way.
And I don't think they're going to care. I think they're going to double down and call us losers and suckers.
Well, I guess is only one way to find out.
We'll see.
All I know is that if you're watching this, do not make "I did that" stickers for when the prices raise from the tariffs. Do not do that. That's a horrible idea. And with that being said, episode 31 of Dive Bar of Democracy. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Smoke him if you got him.
We really appreciate everybody swinging by and letting us get a little stuff off of our chest while go ahead and giving y'all something to be like, well, you know, it sucks, but it's going to be okay because at least I got family. And with that being said, we will see you crazy kids later.
Bye, friends.
Oh, I've got the lasers. Reach for the lasers.
That's cool.
Lasers, fuck.